the mindset is, the chances of you winning that is next to zero. So many degrees, you're not winning. Let's put it that way. But people still pay to play that, because the idea is, yeah, the odds are so far against me, but it only costs me $1. Now let's take a step back. Nobody's getting rich on that $1 being spent. And these funded companies aren't getting rich by your measly little $99, but they are getting with the masses that keep doing that same thing, just like the lottery administration. It's in their advantage to give you the freedom and rope to hang yourself. But they didn't kick the chair out from underneath you, so they're not the bad guy. They laid a single round of ammunition on you. They laid an empty handgun on the table in front of you. They made this Russian roulette available for you to play, but you decided to pick the bullet up. You placed it in the chamber. You spun it and put it to your head. Whose fault is it when you pull the trigger? What consequence and result after you pushing that trade, doing that thing that you did? Who's going to have the responsibility when that trigger's pulled? Not them. Their hands are clean. They're getting paid. And they don't care if you go away, because there's going to be someone else that's going to jump in their spot, your spot, everyone else's spot that says, I'm tapped out. I can't afford more. That same, I might not win, and there's a lot of things saying I can't likely succeed doing this, but if I win, I can get through the step one faster. Like that's somehow going to change your level of discipline, personal responsibility. And now you're going to suddenly follow the rules? You won't. Because now you're going to say, well, listen, I just took 10 contracts and I made $1,500 on 3 handles. What seemed like seconds. It only took me seconds to do that. Well, let me just go in there with my live age 2 funded account. And I can just do that every day. That's not the model. That's not the model. You're going to make every excuse to do the wrong things. Like a married man that caught the eye of another woman that he knows he should not talk to. He knows where she's at, and he's making excuses. Honey, we need bread. No, I got bread today. All right, well, I'm going to go get some soda. What do you need soda for? I don't know, I'm thirsty. You're doing anything you can to get out of the house, to go find yourself in the position to be in that step 2 funded position where you can over leverage and play Russian roulette with a hoochie mama. That's human nature. That's a character flaw. You're inviting chaos. You're asking for it. In this case, you're buying it. You're paying for it. And while they may make available all these things, if you don't do the right thing by having less leverage, don't give them the opportunity to see you fail so quickly and easily, because they know the majority of you are going to over leverage. They know you want to get to the part that makes money, and they have a 90% likelihood that you aren't never getting there. And even if you did and you get lucky, maybe one payout, oh, great. Your greed's going to tap you there and say, okay, I need to make more. Or I need to go quicker this time. All they have to do is sit back and let circumstances be what they are. Recklessness and chaos shows up. And for a period of time, for those that are getting lucky with it, ego is going to be that friend that leads you to ruin. I'm always going to be able to make money now. Look at me. We are. And unfortunately, that kind of mindset leads to ruin. So don't invite it. Don't make it about a spectacle. Don't make it about over-the-top types of results or Olympic-sized feats or speed at which you get to stage 2. Take your time. Relax. Just relax. One day like today, anybody that uses what I'm teaching could get funded to stage 2 in a day like today with one contract. That's not impossible. One contract that could have been done today. But you're looking at a move like today and you're thinking, if I had 5 contracts here and 5 contracts here and 5 contracts there, yeah, you could have. It could have been like that for you. But do you have that experience yet? Probably not. So don't have your expectations so high and lofty where it's easy for you to fall and not feel like you can do it. In other words, don't set yourself up for more than just a temporary failure, because traders and trading is a lifetime of failure. How you deal with that? I ask that question on my interviews now. How do my students that are funded and consistently making money, how do they deal with losing? Everybody does something different. Some people take it harder than others. Other people say, well, it sucks, but I ain't worried about it. I'm going to do the next trade because that trade didn't lose enough for me to feel like I've been beaten. Now, contrast that with, I'm not going to stick to a model. I'm going to over leverage. I'm going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing because it only costs me $99 to reset. Aren't they saying the same thing? The trader that has a model is taking very small calculated risks that sometimes does not pan out. And that small loss is insignificant in the grand scheme of their entire career as a trader, as a speculator. And they're not worried about trying to avoid the losing trade because the model and the rules say, do this, and this is what should happen. If it doesn't, you're not abandoning that model because it didn't pan out for you, that transaction, and the loss was insignificant. It will not have such a weight on your psyche. So that way, when you look at price action, you won't be thinking, this is generally, in other times, this is a trade I would be taking. But I'm going to wait for confirmation now because I have to make sure. Why? Why would you feel that? Because you've taken a loss that's larger than you were comfortable with. If you're trading with a quote unquote $150,000 account and you're using a 5-handle stop loss on one contract, you're risking what? $2. That's not $3,000. That's a very, very small, insignificant amount. So it gives you wiggle room. How many 5 handles form over the course of a week? Lots of them. Some form at specific times of the day that are very predictable. You don't trade 30 minutes before midnight, New York local time, because you're done playing Xbox Live with your buddies. And now let's go see if I can do something in the market. You don't do that. You have business hours. You stick to them. Bank of America is not open 24 hours. Okay, they have banking hours. You don't want to create this atmosphere in your trading where you feel like you have to always know what the next move is going to be. Narrative is understanding what the algorithm is going to do in price next. It is not an every second of the day narrative. The narrative is when we go into New York session, during this period, I'm looking for the algorithm to do a specific thing, behave a certain way, present an opportunity like the fair value gap, drawing to liquidity. That's a simple rule-based idea. It's time-based. Why would you want to complicate that? There's nothing easier than that. There really is nothing easier. Oh, you can just follow a moving average crossover. Okay. What time frame? What's your entry mechanism? Where's your stop? What are you reaching for? What's the target? See, yeah, I can play devil's advocate just like anybody else. And I can say something, and when I've said it, I have the luxury of coming back and saying, but what about this? And what about this? And what about this? So I cancel all that by sitting in front of you with a live 1 minute candlestick chart. And I tell you what's going to happen next. So all those other straw man arguments can't be used. We're all looking at that hard right edge. And you don't want to take these perfect opportunities to do all the wrong things, waste time, waste money, build up frustration, and now fear. Fear. When you first wanted to learn how to trade, were you scared? No. I mean, obviously you said, well, times you might lose money, but let me look into it further and see what's happening, because you're convinced if you look hard enough, you would find a way to never lose money. Let me remind you that doesn't exist. But when you first started and you wanted to get into this industry and find out more about it, you felt like a child on Christmas Eve, like you couldn't wait to get more involved. And that's what it's like when students come to my YouTube channel. They get their hands in something like Model 2022, which is a hit the ground running approach. If you're brand new, you've never gone through any of my videos, 2022 model, there's 40 videos. That's where you start, because that right there will give you a 100% right now. Go into the charts and see it every day. You don't need to know anything about price action. Everything that's discussed in that 40 video series will give you enough to know that if that doesn't convince you that there's worth and value in what I'm teaching, if you don't see it there, don't waste any more time with me. Just move along, find somebody else, and I wish you good luck with it. I promise you, if you don't see the value in those 40 videos that communicates precision, time-based ideas, things that repeat, a logic of knowing where to get in, where's your stop loss, where do you take partials, where's your target, done. That's a complete 100%. Everything you're looking for when you buy a course, everything you're looking for when you join a mentorship, everything you're looking for if you're trying to buy a book that supposedly tells you how to trade. That's everything. It's a one-stop, one-shop. There it is. And if you like that and you want to dig deeper, then go into the core content and all the other lessons I have on the YouTube channel at whatever pace and whatever direction you want to go, because you'll have something that you're going into the charts, back testing and looking and studying, whether it be in old moves or real time, because that 2022 model is perfect. It's pure. It's easy. It may not be easy for you when you're brand new because there's a lot of things you have to understand. But spend time with it and you'll see right away that is the easiest thing there is in trading. And it checks all the boxes that you would want for precision and algorithmic theory. There's nothing to guess about. It's logic. It's not flawed. It's proven. It makes money, and other people are making fortunes with it now. Yeah, I said fortunes. 6 figures, in my opinion, that's a small fortune. We're not talking about Mickey Mouse, dollar menu wages. That's a significant amount of money. It's a respectable measure of money. We're not talking about $1,000 to $500 here and there, which is still in some people's eyes valuable. If you made an extra $500 a month and that's all you could do, would you say, I don't want that $500? No, you wouldn't. So it's all about perspective. What you're looking for, you'll find it here. I'm not going to do anything for you. I'm not going to pull any punches. I'm going to tell you it's going to be hard. It's going to take longer than you want it to. And you're going to learn in a setting makes you no money. That's exactly how you want it. Doctors don't go out there and ask people to come off the streets and say, I'm studying for my exam tomorrow. Can I cut open your abdomen and remove your spleen? No, that's not happening. They use cadavers. Okay. So think, do you want a surgeon that has never did any kind of cutting at all on a body to put their scalpel into you? Nobody's going to feel safe with that. So what experience do they have if you're the patient one that they're going to now treat? You're patient one. You don't know this. They're not saying, hey, nice to meet you. Congratulations, you're my first patient. I've never done surgery before. So what time do you want to come in? No, I'm out of here. See you later. So, but why would you expect anything different with your trading? You're that surgeon in trading. You're that doctor. I'll have to remind myself about, people are asking why am I calling everybody doctor? I'll just say it now because if I don't say it now, I'll probably forget about it. My 9th grade year in high school, I had a civics teacher. One of the coolest cats there was, man. He kind of reminded me of Martin Luther King, and he just was just real smooth, man. Just real smooth. Came in smooth, like he just scooted around, scooted through the hallways, scooted across the classroom, sharp as a tack, really witty. And every time we would come into his classroom, everyone that came in and greeted him, he turned to him, small little smirk, doctor. And that was one of the coolest things I saw. And it made me feel cool when he would say it to me. And I could see the expression on the other students, their face would, it would cause them to smile. And it resonated with me and it stuck in my 9th grade year. And now when I greet my friends or associates that, that work with me, that's where I do it. It to me is one of those cool things that I saw someone that I looked up to and it just resonated with me. Much like you all try to talk and sound like me because I've made an impression on you. Well, that's where I came from. So when I'm doing my interviews and I'm greeting them, that's where that came from. So anyway, you're going through this process of learning how to trade. You're that surgeon in development. So learning how to do this in a condition where you can't cause any harm. The surgeon that's learning how to do a surgical procedure on a cadaver, are they afraid that they're going to put the cadaver in the ground or kill them? No. That body is dead. It's been submitted to the Department of Science. and they're making that body available to do whatever they want to do with it. That's a cadaver. So a surgeon works with a once living person, but no longer is living. It's expired. That body is lifeless. And they get to have all of the advantages of cutting on a real body, feeling the restrictions of certain types of tissues, even with a scalpel. How to navigate inside of a cavity of an abdomen or a rib cage or a brain without the risk of loss. In trading, you want to learn how to what? Navigate the marketplace and engage without having loss. Do you think the surgeon's first procedure on a living person, do you think they're cool and collected? No. But they're going to lean on all the experience they gathered with cutting on those cadavers. When they were doing their case studies in the textbooks, writing out their ideas, that's not the same. That's just you writing out your model. But then when you go to that cadaver, which is a demo account or paper trading account, you're doing the theory in a setting that can't hurt you or anyone else. That's proper learning. You're doing it without any concern, psychologically or emotionally, about the outcome. You're focusing on doing what the theory suggests you're supposed to. What's the process? What's the protocol? You're following that. That's your model. Don't let anybody make fun of you and make you feel like, oh, I'm learning how to do this with a demo account. It doesn't matter. Your results are going to be yours. If your results are going to be unbelievably successful, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to say that it ain't real. And are you going to care? You're going to care real money if people don't believe that how you learned was a good or bad way. You don't care. I have more students that aren't on social media because they're off doing their own thing now. Look at the young people that are making themselves available to you in these interviews. They don't have to do those interviews. They're interviewed by these companies. I don't own those companies. We don't have some kind of conspiracy together. I mean, you've heard me talk really in a very low-key anti-approach to funded accounts, if you heard what I was saying earlier. Like, I'm not a fan of them, even though I have profitable students that use them. I'm not a fan of them. That's why I will never do business with any of them. I will never have an affiliation with them. I will never say, go and join a funded account and blah, blah, blah. And here's a 20% off type thing. I don't want affiliations. And when I tell you something, it's my honest opinion. No one has influenced me. They're not paying for my opinion. I will never have my opinion paid for. And I never represent no broker whatsoever. Period. I'm not an introducing broker. Anything I tell you, it's my opinion. And I'm not monetized with that opinion. And that's why, unfortunately, my opinion isn't liked by a lot of other folks, because it infringes on the comfort they hold with their affiliations. And I don't have a problem with them having their affiliations. Listen, get your money, man. But don't hold me to that same level of, well, he must be in partnership with somebody else. I'm not. So I'm out here sharing my opinion, and it doesn't mean my opinion's right. It's just my opinion. You may take something I say and get a hair up your backside and say, well, I'm going to use this as a reason to prove ICT wrong. And then you create something entirely new. And that would be amazing. So it's not meant for me to be a reason for you not to do funded accounts. I'm just saying that everything that I felt most people would encounter, my son's experiencing that. So in many ways, I feel vindicated. And the only way I think he and anyone else will do well doing it is by never really over leveraging. Never really doing that. trade with a very small number of contracts, even if they give you the freedom to do more. Because you're really not trading with $150,000. You're trading $3,000. And $3,000 is undercapitalized, grossly undercapitalized. And anyone that says other than that is full of grade A cow patties. It's just the way it is, folks. Drawdown is a real part of trading. And when you burn your funded account and you burn your funded accounts, you'll feel like, well, I'm going to go back in and I'm going to be a little bit more selective, but I'm not going to change anything I've done. If over leveraging is part of it, you're going to fail. Just give it enough time, you're going to fail. If you listen to my students and other people that do, they build up these, well, they have like a deck of cards at their disposal, multiple funded accounts, multiple ones, because it allows them to have a card to play when one's roasted. When it's burned, they can't use that one anymore. They have something else they can lean on. How about just have one account? Don't over leverage it. Don't demand more than it's going to pay out. Make enough money to go with a company like AMP, where it offers you real trading, very, very low margins. My son had experience with that company, and hey, it is what it is. No broker's perfect. No broker's going to be perfect. You're going to complain about all of them, but that's the world, man. Like, you're not going to have a silver lining that's seen by everyone in agreement. You're going to have your favorite things about a broker, and you're going to have these pet peeves that you don't like about them. Everybody's going to have that because they're the middleman. But I don't think your best interest is suited for only viewing funded accounts. And I've said, I just don't believe that segment of our industry is going to be allowed to stay around in the capacity that we have it right now. And that's the reason why they're, doing what they can to get what they can from whoever's willing to give it to them. Because the time is probably limited for them to do what they're doing. So if you're going to do that, do it the right way. Don't over leverage it. Make what you need to cover the cost and build up enough money to go with a real broker that allows you to trade with real funds in a real account, that allows you to have more drawdown, like in the real world, greater than $3,000. Because $3,000 is nothing. Literally nothing. I spent $3,000 this morning just shopping for things that would never really cost that much 5 years ago. But if I want to stock up on stuff, that's what it costs now. But $3,000 in trading, you were really undercapitalized, and you're paying monthly dues to be undercapitalized, and you can't trade past 4:00. When sometimes earnings season, you'll see moves that are after hours, right? You'll never be able to capture any of that. Now, is that a deciding factor that should keep you from doing funded accounts? Probably not. But it's something that a real brokerage account doesn't place a limit on. So, just food for thought.